welcome back, Star Wars fans. Oh my god, The Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 1. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Okay, first off, wow. This is a spoilers review. I'm not going to hold anything back on this one. For one reason and one reason only. Everything we saw in all the trailers is from this episode. I take that back. I want to say 90% of everything you already saw in the trailer already happened in this episode. So you know what's going on. This is storytelling. This, in my opinion, is Disney going, okay, we heard the fans, and sorry. Here's The Mandalorian. Here's The Mandalorian Season 2, and here's The Mandalorian Season 3. Here's Andor. We're not going to talk about the Book of Boba Fett. Obviously, there's some mixed feelings on that. So, with Andor and The Mandalorian, this is what I'm going to say about it. If they can make The Mandalorian as action-packed from beginning to end as it is in every season, Andor can be the same way. Come on, guys. Let's put a little more action in Andor. Alright, The Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 1. Spoilers. There's some old faces. Grief Karga, as you saw in the trailer, he is the High Magistrate of Port Navarro now. The armor is back. Mando, the child. There's some new faces. There's some pirates. The pirates are kind of, we're not sure about them yet. They attacked him in Port Navarro, and Mando escapes. That's all I want to say about it. There's really no spoiler there, other than if they're as bad as what they're saying, we will see them again. However, the story starts out. Mando, you see the armor, okay? You got the armor is forging a helmet. And the armor walks out. And then you see a bunch of Mandalorians on a beach next to a giant lake. And then you see them doing a ceremony inducting a young Mandalorian into the Mandalorian order or whatever. So they are doing the whole never take off your helmet speech. This is kind of their pledge. This is their creed. They're going to the Mandalorian creed. They get attacked by a giant creature. Okay. This is the George Lucas universe still. I mean, you're going to have everything that's trying to eat you, right? So they get attacked. And this whole time I'm thinking, okay, they're getting attacked by a giant creature. This is a flashback. That's got to be young Din Djarin. Oh no. This is a new generation of Mandalorians. This is current events. And this creature is just tearing up everybody, and then Din Djarin comes in and saves the day. I'm not going to tell you how he saves the day. It's stylish. It is awesome. It is very appropriate for the Mandalorian. So, spoilers, no spoilers. You're going to have to watch to see that. So he shows up, and he's like, and he asks questions, right? He's like, okay, I want to be a Mandalorian again. How do I become redeemed in the order? They evidently has to bathe in a lake in the mines underneath Mandalore, or so to say.
This is the way.
This is the way.
This is the way.
The armor gives him the whole, the planet is poison. There's no way into the mines, and if there is, that would probably be your only way. And he goes, okay. Well, he's on a quest to go to these mines on Mandalore. So he's like, okay, well, I'm going to need some help to get there. Him and the youngling travel to Port Navarro, and they run into Grief Karga. Grief Karga has now turned the Port Navarro into a sprawling metropolis. I mean, this place is it's an oasis. It's Cancun. It is Cancun on the outer rim, okay? Mandalorian shows up. Him and the youngling, they're walking through a plaza, and they see IG-11. The old bounty hunter robot that tried to save the child in another season. I think it was season 1. I cannot remember. Gosh, it's been that long already. It's like season 1. Anyway, he befriends Din Djarin somehow in the past, and I can't remember how But anyway, Din Djarin trusts this android, and they want him back. Well, he's a statue now in the middle of this plaza. So he shows up to talk to Grief Karga. Because he wants that statue. Grief Karga, in turn, is trying to talk him into being the marshal for the town. He's like, can't you get Cara Dune to do it? He's like, nope, she's been sequestered off for other things. And, of course, they wrote her out of the script. Anyway, I hope they bring Cara Dune back. I really like the character. And that's where we run into these pirates I talked about earlier. So these pirates show up. Evidently, they did work for Grief Karga in the past to kind of help clean up the place, and they want to come back and be pirates in a place where there's a bunch of children, there's schools, there's, it's pretty much a peaceful society that no longer needs pirates. It's not Tatooine, right? So they show up, and they pick a fight with Grief Karga. The Mandalorian's there, and the pirates get wiped out quickly. It is an awesome standoff. You guys are going to love it. So in short, he asked Din Djarin again to be the marshal. He's like, no, but I want the robot IG-11. So they take IG-11 to, quote-unquote, the best robot smiths in the galaxy, which happen to be on Navarro. And, oh and behold, they are the same species as Boba Frick from Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker, where that little guy tries to hack into C-3PO's head and get him to translate the Sith language. Yeah, same species. Anyway, there's a bunch of them now. They're all working on this droid, trying to get him to wake up, and he needs a new power source. So he needs a new chip in his head to get him to function. Mandalorian's like, okay, can you fix him otherwise? They're like, yeah. He's like, okay, I'll get you the part you need, because evidently this part is super hard to come by. Fast forward, he takes off. Awesome ship battle. In the orbit around Navarro, there's like asteroids. Awesome ship battle. The Mandalorian faces off with a bunch of pirates. It is worthy of the original Star Wars movies. It reminds me of that battle with Boba Fett and Obi-Wan from Star Wars Episode 2, The Clone Wars. Anyway, that's where you meet the Pirate King, and evidently he didn't make good with the Pirate King. They parted on bad terms, and the Mandalorian goes to see Bo-Katan. Bo-Katan is sitting on a throne in a castle by herself. Mandalorian looks at her and says, I want to join you on your quest to take back Mandalore. And she's like, okay, well, everybody's gone. She didn't get the Darksaber, so they wouldn't follow her. So now all of her forces they're gone. They're out in the galaxy being mercenaries. And he's like, oh, okay. She's like, you still have the Darksaber? He goes, yep, still got it. Well, I have to go to Mandalore. I have to be redeemed because I took my helmet off, so I've got to go bathe in the mines. And she's like, okay. Well, you know what? She tells him right where they're at. So he's like, all right. Well, I'm going to go to the mines. In short, this is dramatic entrance and dramatic exit. I was expecting a little more there. I'm assuming he's going to be followed by Bo-Katan. I can only assume. But she pretty much says goodbye. They part ways right there, and that is the whole episode summed up. And I find that very interesting because when you see all the events and you're like, okay, this is all in all the trailers we saw. We see all the events and you're like, okay, the Mandalorian it just picks right up where it left off. He's got the child. He wants to redeem himself. He's really trying hard to do that. He saved the Mandalorians from a certain death from a beast and the armor, and they're still like, nope, sorry, you're an apostate, you're a heretic, so you still have to go cleanse yourself. So he's on a quest to do that, and along the way, all of these different story arcs are opening up. This is how you make an exciting season. I am excited for the rest of this season. I can't wait. I couldn't wait to watch it. I stayed up all night. So here we are. There's no trace of Moff Gideon. Now they said that he is in some kind of tribunal, so I imagine he's wrapped up in the New Republic court system, but they don't really go into a lot of detail. Cara Dune is sequestered off for secret mission. IG-11 out of commission. Din Djarin is currently trying to find a memory chip that will work for that android. There are quote-unquote pirates that are now after Din Djarin. There is Bo-Katan, who doesn't really seem to be a friend or a foe, but very still interested in the Darksaber, of course. And then there is the entire Bo-Katan's mercenaries who are out in the galaxy somewhere. And she's like, if you want them, go get them and wave around that Darksaber, do whatever the heck you want. So he didn't say whether or not he was going to go do that, but he did say he was heading to Mandalore. In the preview, it does show a bunch of Mandalorians jumping out of a ship. That is not in this episode. I think that is probably the only thing I saw that was not in this episode. So, more to come on that. What do you all think? Has anybody seen this episode yet? If you have, leave a comment. Tell me what you think. I'm not going to do any more reviews on The Mandalorian Season 3 until the finale. When it wraps up, I'm going to do a whole season review like I did with Andor. It seemed to work out pretty well. So, I like to have a lot more to talk about than just one episode. But judging by this episode, it is going to be like the rest of the Mandalorians, if not better. Because now we don't have to worry about where the child is going. The child is with Din Djarin. We still have yet to see Luke or Ahsoka Tano. We don't know anything about them. We know from the preview they're Jedi. So that's another thing they didn't show, were the Jedi and them, the rest of the Mandalorians going to Mandalore. So I guess those are the two things you don't see. There's still Death Watch, which we haven't seen. What I will say, you're going to be surprised at the helmet that the armorer makes. You look at that helmet, you're immediately going to think Death Watch. That's a Death Watch helmet. The armor brings it out and hands it to a child who is being inducted into the Mandalorian Order, and that child is wearing this. It's a Death Watch helmet. Gosh, man, there's so many questions. I have so many questions. I'm so excited. All right, folks, it was an excellent episode. Thanks for tuning in. If you would like to see more content from our channel, please leave a like and subscribe. Hit that notification icon. And there is more content to come, not only on The Mandalorian, but I do action figures, the Black Series, I do the Anniversary, and some vintage. I also do video games. We're also doing a series on Elite Dangerous, an awesome space game. I recommend anybody who likes space and exploration check it out. From Monday to Wednesday. All right, folks. That is all for this episode. And remember, if it's from a galaxy far, far away, you are never far from a good time.